I don't know what I expected, but that was very gross. All right. Hey guys, back again. I apologize. There's some noise in the background. Someone's in the kitchen right now. Yeah, here to talk about Terrifier 3. This is one that Milena dragged me to very late in the night to go see. I didn't see the last two. I very deliberately avoided the last one because I was very much just like, I don't want to sit through a gratuitous gut-wrenching gore fest. Those aren't usually my thing. But I don't know. Maybe I've just grown like more open-minded about that stuff over the last year, because like when Milena asked me this, I was like, sure, fuck it. So yeah, I sat down and watched Terrifier 3, and it's hard to say if I liked it. In a weird way, I respect it, and I don't think it's bad. I don't think I would ever watch it again, but I weirdly respect the craftsmanship behind it, because it is a exercise in the goriest ways to do something that you could possibly think of. And if that's like your shit, that's your niche, and I know like it's some people's niches. I understand this film franchise is made basically by like a horror FX artist who just had a lot of free time and just wanted to make some gross ass shit, and he succeeds. And if you go with that kind of expectation that like that's what you want out of this, then I think you'll have a good time with it. The story's nonsensical, but then again, it's also not trying to be anything else. It's not pretending to be Shakespeare. It's not pretending to be anything deep. We know you're there for blood, guts, and gore, and that's what, God damn it, that's what it's gonna give you. So, on that note, brief synopsis on Terrifier 3. Terrifier 3 takes place like a couple years after the last one, with the last surviving members of the last one, which is like, hold on, I'm gonna Google these names because I always try to tell myself to do this before I press record, and then I don't do it. Yeah, so it starts like Sienna and or is it Gabby? It's one of them. And Jonathan, who were the survivors of the last movie, who were kind of dealing with the trauma and the exhaustion and everything, like obviously the horror they went through in the last movie. And they think it's over, but unfortunately Art the Clown has made a return through demonic means with his sidekick, whose name I forget, but she's also very gross. And this time it's Christmas themed, so he eventually like kills, this isn't really that much of a spoiler, you can just tell by just looking at the trailer. Like kills a Santa and takes his suit and his beard and all that stuff, and he just goes around killing motherfuckers and in the grossest way possible. And eventually he kind of like, there's a whole plot line with angels and demons and stuff like that, but you don't care about that. Like, let's be honest, if you're seeing Terrifier 3, you don't care what the plot is. It's like you don't go watch a Nightmare on Elm Street because you think the plot's gonna be great. You want to see some spooky nightmare shenanigans, and that's pretty much what you get. Between rats being shoved down people's throats and using a chainsaw to cut someone like asshole to forehead, but like vertically, and just all that kind of stuff. It's just like, it's gross to watch, but in a weird way, since a lot of it is done practically as opposed to using CGI, there is a unique form of artistry to how they create these horrifically gruesome sequences, almost comedic. As we saw this in a pretty packed theater, and we just kind of watch people walk out as it gets a little too much for someone. I'm just sitting there like, God, why do I let Milena drag me to these things? And if you're kind of going with that, again, when you can look past the gore that's happening, you can pay attention to all the practical effects that went into it. It's actually very impressive. Now, do I think that makes it a good movie? I think it makes it an interesting one. As far as the quality of the film itself, like just as a film, ignoring the interesting practical effects, I give it a solid 6. Like better than average, but I don't think the story, the characters are anything to write home about. But again, the characters in the story aren't really the stars of the show. The stars of the show are the effects. And in that regard, it goes ham all the way, and it's extremely impressive how they pull this off. So I think if you go into it with that mentality, you'll find something useful you'll find something interesting out of it. Or if you just like incredibly gory films, then this is definitely something you should enjoy. For everyone else, I can't recommend this for, like, unless you're into that very specific niche. I don't think the layman is going to enjoy this movie. And I know that sounds pretentious, but I think it's accurate to say that, like, you have to be into a very niche style of, like, grindhouse gore to be into this film. So take that with a grain of salt that it is. And I think it's all I really have to say about Terrifier 3, so I'm going to do try one more day before I wrap it up. And that's going to be Joker 2. So see you all in a bit. Bye.